Start.
Okay. So, hi, my name is Ken, and David, Ali, Sunming, and me are my teammates. And today we will talk about the difference between urban and suburban. And we will compare Enumclaw and Ciudad with Rodrigo. At first, I will talk about houses between both countries. Second, David will explain the yard. Third, Ali will explain street. And fourth, Sumin will talk about the function of the houses. And last, me will explain the urban environment and then give some conclusions. Okay. So at first, I will explain the building in both countries. Then I will talk about the building size, and last I will talk about the different parts of the building. So in Enumclaw, you can see in the pictures they have a lot of houses, and I saw that those houses are usually use wood, and they build a house like spread sideways, so you can see it's very wide between house and house. And next, I want to talk about the building in Rodrigo. In the pictures, you can see that there they have a lot of apartments over there, and the material they use to build the apartment is rock. And also you can see that they build the house up, not like US, like spread sideways. So you can see they don't have any space between the apartments. Okay. Next, I want to talk the size of the house in Enumclaw. The house over there usually are one floor, but they have widely space and the interval between houses are large. The standard of the house usually have three bedrooms and two bathrooms, and the size is around like 1,200 to 1,500 SQFT. However, in Spain, they don't have interval between apartments, and the standard of the house usually are two bedrooms and two bathrooms, and the size is around like 100 m2. And in conclusion, I thought I want to talk about the difference between US, like because US have more house and Spain have more apartment, and so I can see like maybe US, because US is suburban, so they can have more space to build a house, but because Spain they are urban, so they need to save the space, so they cannot build like spread out, they need to build up. And moreover, the room also is more bigger than Spain, and US have more interval between house and house. Okay, next, David will talk about the yard.
Next, please. So first, let's have a look at Enumclaw, Washington. So next, please. First, how large are yard size in front house? In Enumclaw, average yard size is 6,097 square feet. Associated building in front yard on third lots would indicate where a third lot has depth of not more than 140 feet. Social building may be located in one of the required front yards, provide that very portion of such a accessory building is not less than 10 feet from the nearest street line. So next, please. backyards or front yards is important. Enumclaw, in Enumclaw, their houses are like just the same as Arbon, and in the front yard they park their cars, which means front yard landscaping has the advantage of increasing your house crop appeal, and backyards landscaping has the advantage of improving the parts of your yard where your family probably spend more time. So next, please. And is private land important? In Amazon, 68% are owner and 31% have rents living in them. Some of the most important fish and wildlife resources are found on private land, so it's important. And next, please. So next, please. So now let's look Ciudad Spain. So first, look at their city. It's very different from Enumclaw, and their building are like just ancient city. So most people are living at apartments. So some yard are big, but some are small. So it depends on where you live. If you live at like the second floor or the top floor, you don't have yard. So you only have verandas. That's so next, please. Backyard or front yard. So Spain has a long tradition of making gardens. So small house have traditionally like front garden, even though they don't have much space, they still plant flower or tree in front of yard to attract people like this. So, next, please. Yeah, is private land important? As you can see in the picture, most of their house and their building are like apartments, so most people live at apartment. So private land is not that important as much. So the next our presentation will continue by my partner.
Hi everyone. Today I'm gonna talk about Enumclaw and Ciudad Rodrigo span in the street. So let's begin. So as we can see the map, the view map, this is the Enumclaw, and the Enumclaw, which is city in Washington State, in United States of America. Enumclaw is located in King County, Washington State, with a population of 12,000 people. So the city is surrounded by natural beauty, including the nearby range and Mountain Rainier National Park. Enumclaw has a charming downtown area with a local shop and restaurant and welcoming community atmosphere. So I had been visit Enumclaw once and to the downtown, and I saw the Green River camps. So in Enumclaw, the downtown has a lot of shop market and supermarket. So let's go to the next page, please. So Enumclaw, Washington, USA. Suburban areas in the United States often have a wider street design to accommodate cars and parking. So in the United States, the common thing that a lot of people, they use the cars. So it's popular here. They don't use the public transportation often. So one of the cultural landscape here in the United States, or specific in Washington State, a lot of people, they use the cars, and you can find, if you went to the downtown, you can see a lot of buildings that having a parking. There are maybe more space for cars to drive and park in suburban areas, reflecting the cars center culture. As I said, it's a common thing here in the United States. A lot of people, they use cars, and you can see many parking in the street for the cars. So let's go to Ciudad Rodrigo Spanish. So Ciudad Rodrigo Spanish, it's one of the cities in Spain. Is a historic city located the province of Salamanca, Spain, with a population of around 13,000 people. The city is known for its well-preserved modified walls and rich cultural heritage. Ciudad Rodrigo offers historic and natural beauty with landmarks like the Ciudad Rodrigo Caldar and the Castle of Hioni too. So I think in the European cities, it's a rare thing that they use a car. They have the culture, the walking culture. So the people walk more than they drive, and to if they want to go to the downtown or to visit the place, they use the public transportation. Can we go to the next page? So Saudia's Rodrigo Spain, European cities, including those in Spain, often have narrower streets that prioritize and encourage walking. Suburban areas might have a narrower street compared to the wider street in America, allowing for a more walkable information. So as I said, in the European cities or in general in Europe, they don't use often the cars. They use public transportation, as we can see the streets in the cities, small street. They don't use the cars often, and the Enumclaw, Washington has a wider street that are designed for cars and the parkings with ample space for driving and parking. So the Rodrigo Spain has a narrower street that prioritizes walking with a limited space for cars. So thank you, and I'm gonna give the mic to my partner Suman. She will talk.
Hello, I'm Sumin. I'd like to introduce you to other places like shops outside of suburb areas. Let's just start by looking at Enumclaw in Washington. One of the very first places that I want to point out in Enumclaw is this street right here, 4th Street. So 4th Street is the real center of life in Enumclaw. There's a lot that goes on 4th Street that you will want to be a part of. So 4th Street really has a lot of the cute little boutiques and the cute restaurant, things like that. They have an amazing get-together in the summers with live music. As you can see in the picture, they usually will end up blocking off a part of this road so that you can go in and just walk freely. It's a very cute little downtown. There are really great restaurants in this area, as well as cute little shops. Trapper Sushi, Headworks Brewing, this little spot is its own unique little brewery. They sell beer out of it. You can also do grocery shopping here, and Enumclaw provide plenty of options for that. You can see down here as by the 410. You have a Safeway with the Rite Aid right next door. And then there's also a QFC. So you have options or within about a half mile of one another to get your grocery up. One of the best thing about Enumclaw being a small town is that it does have a healthy care option inside of it. That means you don't force you to drive to Seattle or Tacoma. So the biggest one hospital is St. Elizabeth Hospital. This location is here. This hospital is open 24/7 hours, 365 days. As you can see, Enumclaw is a charming place with everything you could need, even though it's a suburb area outside of Seattle. Next, let's take a look at Ciudad Rodrigo in Spain. On the map, there are many crosses visible. Ciudad Rodrigo is known as the noble and loyal ancient city, and it can be observed that religious and civil architecture is well preserved. Mayor Plaza serves as the center. Comparing before and current photos, you will notice that not much has changed. This indicated the local characteristic of valuing and preserving the old. In the past, it was popular market area, but now it has become a terrace where you can enjoy local wines and peacefully end your day. Unlike Enumclaw, Saudi Rodrigo doesn't have a large markets. Instead, there are small grocery shops or temporary stores where merchants sell food and goods. The cuisine is also different. Harinato, a sausage made from breadcrumbs, pork fat, paprika, and spicy, is a typical local delicacy served with fried eggs. There's also cake called bolomaimon and a pie called honazo. Now let's look at the hospital. The hospital called the Hospital of the Passion was built in the 15th century. Can you believe it that something built in the 15th century is still in use today? Inside the hospital is beautiful, designed with old aesthetics. Before exploring Enumclaw, I used to think of it as a distant rural area in the suburbs. However, I found that everything necessary for living was available there. When I look at Saudi Rodrigo in Spain, while it might not have as much as Enumclaw, the stunning architectures and more struck me. If I had to choose two of these places, I would prepare to live in Ciudad Rodrigo. Perhaps continuously preserving the architecture is also economically beneficial for tourism. But people are not really visiting Enumclaw for tourism, right? So I now hand it over to my partner. Me is continue explaining this PPT.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Me, and I'm gonna talk about what makes an urban environment feel good or bad, happy or sad, lonely or connected. And the first one, I'm gonna talk about the Enumclaw environment, and you can see the image in the PPT. That like most of the town is surrounded by the forest, field, and also the river, and that give a city a pleasing and the peaceful environment. And because of the nature conditions, so it gives the city a lot of opportunity for recreation activities, such as hiking, camping, fishing, and do other activities in the summer, and also other outdoor activity near the Mount Rainier National Park and Bristol Mountain. People usually do this kind of activity in the summer because the weather is sunny and pleasant. So this is a good time for them to doing outdoor activity. And you can see the image at the bottom of the PPT. This is a Bristol Mountain and also the Mount Rainier. And in the winter, it is usually snowfall in the mountainous area. So that make Enumclaw become an ideal place for the winter sport, such as skiing or snowboarding. And there are some tourist attraction and something to do in this city, such as I mentioned above, the Rysor Mountain Resort is one of the most favorite one. It's one of the most famous one, and it's in near the Enumclaw city, and that a place for skiing and snowboarding in the winter. And also in Enumclaw downtown, this is a place where visitors can shop for the unique items and or just simply enjoy the local restaurant. And also the trail, Enumclaw Trail and the Foothill Trails. This is also a place for the hiker of all skill level. And this is also an ideal place for sightseeing and explore the natural beauty in Enumclaw. On the other hand, the weather is mostly rainy and humid, so some people will find it inconvenient during in the rainy month. Next slide, please. While Enumclaw is famous about the natural beauty, the Ciudad Rodrigo is a city in Spanish. This is a city that rich about the history and the history architecture at the special landscape in Ciudad Rodrigo. And most of the visitors visit this city because they want to visit the historical site, and they usually explore the museum and also the cathedral, also attending the festival such as the Carnival del Toro is also one of the most famous one. Or they just like simply experience the Spanish food. And for the similarity between the environment of this city, because this is a small town, and the climate are kind of the same. The weather and the air, that's usually like this is a mild temperature with the four distant seasons. And these are a rural place and also a small town, so it's quite isolated from the urban life. So there will be no hustle and the bustle life, and also some conditions will be limited, like a medical and the education or the job opportunity is not as good as in the big city like Seattle or something. For example, if the residents want to like do the certain treatment, they usually go to the larger city, not the small city. And next slide, please. In summary, we are already talk about the difference and also the similarity thing between Enumclaw in the Washington and also the Ciudad Rodrigo in Spain. And we talk about the house and apartment, what does it look like, and also how large of the yard, and what the streets look like between to the city and other functions and also the bad and the good environment in this city. And thank you for listening.